Hey, what's going on, guys? Tropical Fish Guy here. Today we are going to be doing some question and answers as well as reading off some comments. I haven't been following up with you guys. Been busy. We're moving and stuff here in a couple of weeks, and I figure I just do a Q&A answering your questions in the comments. So if you guys have the questions, I'm going to actually answer them right here. Okay, so Q&A/comment session. Let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, this first question is from Paul Fadden. He says, hi, I bought an electric blue ram pair. The male died within a week, but the female is doing well. I only have a 54-liter tank. Is that big enough for rams? Also, if keeping rams, are you better to keep to one pair, or is it better to keep a small group of 4 or 5?
Let me find out how many gallons 54 liters. How many gallons is a 54-liter tank? Okay, so 14-gallon tank, and the question was 2 rams?
So is that big enough for rams?
For a 15-gallon tank, you could probably do one, maybe a pair, if it's a pair, but I wouldn't keep a whole bunch, because if they pair off, if you kept you could start with like 4 or 5, and once they start pairing off, then you keep those, but then you move the other ones. But really, I think that what happened probably, maybe, is just my guess, is that the rams started fighting because they don't have enough room or something, and the male got dominant. I really don't know. It could be water. It could be anything. But rams are cichlids, so they can be territorial. So for me, in this 29-gallon tank, I actually have 1 ram.
He also wants to know if keeping rams, are you better to keep to one pair, or is it better to keep a small group of 4 or 5?
I could keep a group, but depending on the size, but according for a 15-gallon tank, I just keep 1.
Now this is regarding the Threadfin rainbow fish.
Beautiful fish.
Question is from Jay Desai. Should they be kept in a school, or what ratio, like all males, or 50-50 males and females?
Yes, they do prefer groups. I do at least 1 male to a female, but probably best to do 1 male to multiple females. And probably, depending on the size of the tank, maybe 29-gallon, I've got 3 in there. I've got actually 2 males and 1 female, which is not good, but it seems to be working okay, but I'd keep more females than males. Thanks for the question, Jay.
This question is from Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson, all right, Mr. Prez.
Says, is flake fish food good for bettas?
Yes. I'll put a link in the description on the video that I did for what to feed betta fish. But yes, flake food, as long as it's a good quality flake food, such as the Xtreme flake, is fine, and most other flakes just fine. Yeah, whatever you got. I'll leave a link to this in the description below. My bettas love this. Also pellets though too.
So this comment in question is from Red Wolf Online. Says, hi, love the video regarding the how to change the fish tank water without killing fish. I wanted to ask if you have any suggestions on how to control breeding. I'm thinking about getting a couple of fancy guppies or something and letting them breed. But how do I humanely and safely let them breed once or twice and then get them to stop?
Once they start breeding, they're not going to stop. I don't think it's not inhumane. I don't know why you want them to stop, but that's what they want to do. They want to breed. I mean, that's what they live to do. So I personally don't believe it's inhumane to let them breed. I mean, I've got tons of guppies in there and in my tubs, so I do not feel that I'm being inhumane. So I would say that once they start, they're not going to stop because they don't want to stop. So
okay, this comment in question is from Hanny Baltazar regarding the Meet My New Betta Fish. It says, nice color. Do you have a video about betta fish tank mates?
I do. I'll leave a link in the description or somewhere up here to the video I did for the betta fish tank mates.
She also asked, I have a male betta. I got him last 2020 of October, and I'm thinking of putting other fishes with him. Need suggestions, please.
Say most bigger sized community fish that won't be able to be eaten by him, they do tend to be a little bit territorial. I've got male betta in here with some mollies, some platies, guppies, the threadfin rainbow fish. I got a German blue ram, got some Cory cats to do the bottom stuff. Yeah, most medium sized, like, half an inch bigger, community fish would be just fine.
This question comes from Neely Brain. How much AquaSafe conditioner would you need to put in a 2.5 gallon tank? Do I need to put anything else in the water when I do a water change? What type of heater and thermometer do you have? I just got a heater from Petco for my neon tetras and black neon tetras, but I'm not sure it's working right. How can I tell? Also, how often am I supposed to feed the tetras?
All right, there's a lot to unpack there. I don't know about the AquaSafe. It would say probably like a capful per 10 gallons and then divide by that. So, and you can't overdose, so I'd just maybe do like whatever it's suggested for a 10 gallon and then cut it in half and see. Maybe half a cap or whatever it is. I really don't know for that type of product. I don't use that. Anything else in the water? I would test your water to see if it's hard or soft, but for the bettas, they prefer neutral to higher pH. So if your pH is way too low, you could put like some crushed coral or a little bit, just a tad bit of baking soda or equilibrium to maintain the hardness if the water's too soft. But you should not, if you have regular tap water and you just dechlorinate it, it should be fine unless your water is very soft. Heater for a small tank, one of those small Tetra preset heaters, because they're really small, or one of those flat heaters as well. I'll leave a link in the comment below for a couple of those different kinds. A thermometer, any kind of thermometer. One of these cheapo, they're a couple of bucks or something. These are just fine, and they suck onto the side or the bottom or something like that, or you can hide it pretty good. That's pretty much all you need for a thermometer. It'll tell you, what the green range is, and if you're a little bit above like I am, you're fine for bettas. All right, how to tell if the heater's working? Yeah, so on the Tetra preset heaters, there's like a little red light that comes on and off. So you'll see that coming on and off. See if it works. And also, but most importantly, the thermometer. Once you have the thermometer there, it will be within the range of 78 degrees or so, depending on the room temperature. So you'll know that the heater's working.
Okay, so the last part of this question is how often am I supposed to feed the Tetra?
Well, that really depends on you. Well, I feed mine once a day. You can feed them a couple of times a day, just don't overfeed them. I mean, Tetras eat a lot. So once or twice a day, I'd say, and then you can skip days here and there. They're not too picky on that, but I feed mine once a day. Sometimes I skip days because I forget, but once a day is good for me.
Do I have to feed my fish at the same time every morning? I feed my betta fish with my auto feeder at 9:30 a.m., but the amount is not steady. Sometimes the food comes out a lot, but sometimes it's smaller amount. I'm trying to feed him by using your method, but I wasn't sure.
You don't. A lot of people say that they get used to it, which sometimes they do. They get used to the time of day. But my bettas, I feed them at whatever time I can do it. So they still come out and eat, and they're just fine. So it doesn't. To me, it doesn't matter. If it's more convenient for you, sure. If not, not a big deal.
This next question from DoveSack Attack.
DoveSack Attack. All right.
Had a cloudy tank and my fish were dying out. Changed to my media, did a 90% water change, and my fish are now thriving. But my tank is still cloudy. Any tips? Aloha from Hawaii.
Oh, Hawaii, all right. Yes, I would test the water. It's possible that maybe the tank is newish, like maybe within the first couple months. So the water's cloudy, perhaps. And if I'd get the test kit. I'll put a link in the description for the test kit. The API test kit is what I use, and it's really simple. So API Freshwater Master Test Kit. So if the ammonia gets to be that color right there, 2 parts per million or greener, then you need to keep doing water changes. I wouldn't do 90. I'd probably do, I wouldn't take all your gravel out and wash it and stuff like that. I'd use a gravel vacuum. I'd use a siphon like this, and what I do is I just take the water out like that, and I'll leave a link somewhere for the video that I did on how to do water change without killing your fish. But I'd take about, depending on how high your ammonia is, if it's at the 2 parts per million, I'd do 50% water changes until you get it below 2, as well as the nitrite as well. Oh, the nitrite as well. The nitrite, 2 parts per million. That's the orange one right there. If that's high as well, past 2 parts per million, I do water changes, and you might have to do them pretty frequently, but sometimes not.
Next question from Sassy Cat Chan. I have a question. If you know, is it safe to put new fish in a tank if it is cloudy?
It depends. Usually I won't, but first I would, same thing, I'd test the water and see what the reading for the ammonia is, ammonia, nitrite, and pH, and I'll leave a link in the description below on how to test your water. On the video I did on how to test your water. But you got to figure out why it's cloudy, right? If it's the ammonia making it cloudy. If you're reading no ammonia and no nitrite, and the pH is at a good range, yeah, put your fish in. But if ammonia's high or nitrite's high, no.
Next question from Rom1001. Is there vegan or vegetarian betta fish food?
Vegan or vegetarian? I would say no, since they are predators and they're carnivores. So I would feed them what they're supposed to eat in nature, which is meat or insects. You know what a good food is? It's not vegan or vegetarian, but bug bites. They like the bug bites. They like flakes. They like anything, really. You can feed them some of the spirulina flake, but they're not going to like it too much. They'll eat it, but they're not going to like it. But definitely give them some meat. Because they like meat. They need meat.
Okay, this question from Chris Palmer regarding the moving fish from quarantine video. What type of rams are those, Bolivian or German?
German blue rams. I like Bolivians too, but I think to me German blues look a little bit more colorful.
Next question from Chris Palmer.
Chris Palmer.
Does the general cure actually kill tapeworms and other general parasites, or just expel them from the intestine?
It's supposed to kill them. It's not a very powerful medicine. It's just kind of like what I use for preventative, but it doesn't paralyze them. It's like the fenbendazole or the levamisole, that kind of thing. It's supposed to kill them, but for tapeworms, it's supposed to kill them.
Next question from Joe Rosillo. Do you float the pearl weed in water or plant in the substrate? I think many aquarium plants are air grown. That's why we get so much dieback as they adapt to being underwater.
Yeah, so pearlweed is a very, very versatile plant. I've got the pearlweed floating right there. There's a big chunk floating right there. And also plant it into the gravel. So either way you want to see it, works just fine. Pearlweed's one of my favorite plants.
Okay, next question from Cool Night 360.
Cool Night.
I have a question. So I got a one betta fish and got some bug bite flakes, and he doesn't want to eat it. Do you know why, or recommend any food for a betta? I only have a betta in one tank.
Yeah, I've heard about the bug bite flakes and some fish not liking it. I haven't tried it myself, but I mean, bettas, they'll eat pretty much anything. I mean, maybe right now he's gotten used to it. They probably got raised eating, live bloodworms or brine shrimp or something. You can feed them frozen bloodworms, frozen brine shrimp. If you don't want to do frozen, they'll eat flakes and pellets. Like I said, here's a good flake right here. If you want flake, Xtreme flake, it's a little bit high, or they like this. This is a good one too. Bug bites beta formula. They like that. These are real small though, but mostly any flakes. I'll leave a link in the description for my video that says what to feed a betta fish.
Okay, this next question is in regards to the Coulee Loach video.
Coulee Loaches.
From Katarina. She says, good morning from Chicago, and what a great video. I have in my 29-gallon tank 6 white skirt tetras, 3 Coulee Loaches. I hope I have all 3 still, LOL. 5 snails and 4 baby guppies. I have 3 Coulee Loaches in my quarantine tank. My question is, I feed once a day in the morning bug bites. If I drop a veggie round, won't the other fish eat it? Won't that overfeed? Or are you saying feed them one or the other? I don't have any gravel in my quarantine tank, just a couple decor thingies for fish to hide.
So Coulee Loaches are nocturnal, but if the only thing that you got in the quarantine tank is the Coulee Loaches, you can break up the veggie rounds and just see how much they're actually eating. But What I do for this tank over here, I've got a bunch of Coulee Loaches up there, is at night in my main tank. So that's my main tank for the Coulee Loaches. At night, when I turn the light off, then I drop some food in there so that the other fish can't find it, and the Coulee Loaches are able to eat. So I feed them at night, basically. But yeah, don't overfeed. Just get a good understanding of what they're eating. 3 of them, I'd say, just try like a couple crumbles of that veggie round at first.
So next comment question from Becky Harmer regarding the aquaponic aquarium setup.
Oh yeah.
She says, have you done an update on the setup yet?
Haven't done an update on the setup, but it's doing good. It's in the other room, but it's growing the Java moss. It's growing very heavily. There's algae in there. Peace lily is growing real good too. So it's doing great. I'll give you an update on that, hopefully before I move, but maybe after. But I'll definitely give you an update. It's doing great.
So this comment regarding the video, cloudy water in a fish tank, I guess as far as how often to change the water. This is from Monica Beloved. Petco told me to do a 25% water change every other day for a week. I'm stopping doing the water changes. Thank you.
Yeah. So what they might have, I don't know your situation, but if the ammonia was really high, then that might be some really good advice. If it's extremely high, if you took some water in there and said, hey, test my water, and they tested it and they said, oh no, right? So that might have been good. But, eventually you're going to have to stop, right? So my advice would be test the water and see where your water parameters are. Ammonia, nitrite, pH at the very minimum.
Okay, so this is a comment regarding how much to feed a betta. It says, from Eileen Bowers, hi, I had a breeder say their stomach is the size of their eyeball, so only 1 pellet of premium food 2 times a day.
If it's working for you, that's fine. I've heard that too, but you got to strike a balance. If it's doing fine, I don't know what size the pellets are that you're feeding them, but as long as you see the underbelly is not huge, then that's good. But it can't be all caved in either. So if it's working for you, I'd stick with it. If not, you can send a picture. How about that? You can send a picture to pics@tropicalfishguy.com and just zoom in and show me the little betta, and I give my opinion on what the tummy looks like after you feed them. How about that? PICS, pics@tropicalfishguy.com.
So this is a comment regarding care for the Java Fern from Ozzy the Oscar.
Ozzy the Oscar.
He says, I love Java Fern, but it has never done well. I've looked at loads and loads of videos on Java Fern, and all they keep saying is how easy it is. I've asked many times why it keeps dying to many different people, and nobody has ever said anything about potassium. You're the most informative video I found on the internet, so thank you. I should be on the right track now, but I actually know the reason for failure now due to you. Great video, and thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, Java Fern is not as easy as a lot of people think. Mine dies off too sometimes. It just happens. Yeah. ThriveC from Nylock G. It has soluble potassium at 5%. Also, this Equilibrium here for planted aquariums, it has potassium at 23%. So, depending on the size of your tank, this or that. But I think what you're doing is pretty good. But sometimes, depending on your water and stuff like that, I sometimes it doesn't work out. So, some parts of the country, things work great. Some parts, they don't. So, water parameters. Some plants that people say works just great, I can't grow either. So it just, one of them things, just depends. Good luck to you.
Okay, this question from Juan Lopez. Can a new aquarium smell?
Yes, absolutely can smell. A lot of times it's the food that's stuck in the rim, right? So when you're feeding the fish, sometimes it gets stuck in that the rim part, and you got to clean that real good. But also during the new aquarium phase, right, when things are getting built up, and then that can smell, and it could also be rotting fish food inside the tank could smell. It could be stuff inside the filter that can smell too. So yes, it can smell. If it smells too bad, I would clean off the rim. I'd do some water changes maybe, gravel back if there's anything stuck in there. Maybe you'll find some gunk inside the filter that needs to be cleaned off. But yeah, sometimes they stink. But they shouldn't stink too bad.
Next question from Chaparro0326. Is it best to have a heater in a fish tank, or would it be okay without one?
It depends on the fish, and it depends on what the temperature of your room that you're keeping your fish is. So cold water fish like white cloud mountain minnows, goldfish, they don't need heaters. And also sometimes some tropical fish don't need heaters if your room is like 75 Fahrenheit or higher. So I don't know the situation, but a lot of times they don't need heaters, but I keep heaters during the winter. I don't use a heater in summer.
Okay, this next comment from LA Cruz.
LA Cruz.
Thanks for the info, man. By the way, you look Asian but sound like American.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime. Yes, I am Asian American, so thank you very much.
Next comment from Quinn Nichols. It says, you're really cool and I enjoy your videos. Straight to the point and very informative. I'm sure your animals are happy they have you as their caretaker.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I try to do the best I can. I appreciate comments like that. Thank you very much.
This question from Andre Scott.
Andre, how you doing, Andre?
How are you keeping guppy with a blue ram, and what is the pH?
My pH is around 7.6 maybe. The blue rams like it a little softer, but I don't try to chase the pH, so I just leave it the same. And my blue ram's doing fine. Anubias keeps dying. Yeah, Anubias is one of those supposedly easy plants, but they need fertilizer. They're water column feeders, so they don't feed from the gravel too much. Their leaves and their roots get the nutrients from the water. I would not use super bright light because they're easily susceptible to algae. As far as why they're dying, I can't tell you since I really don't have the information on your tank. I would test the water and see what the ammonium nitrite pH are.
This next comment question from Carl Fleming. Hi, fish guy. You know what? No, you don't know what, so I'm going to tell you what. Right. LOL. I've been trying to get some half black red guppies for my 20 long. What I want to do is buy 2 males and 4 or more females, right? Because I want a tank full of half black red guppies.
Awesome.
Now everybody on YouTube says the same thing, 2 males to 4 or more females to start with. When I try to buy them, they won't sell me 2 males and 4 or more females. They will only sell me 1 and 1. Good grief, it's unbelievable. I've also been trying to get some Plecos to breed, and well, what can I say? Oh yes, I really do enjoy your videos. I have to ask, where are you from? I also like the way you keep things simple. Have a great day, Carl.
Hey, thanks, Carl. Appreciate it. Yeah, so sometimes they don't want to give you the females. I had that problem too. So I just get a couple males, couple females, and they will eventually breed. I mean, it's just the way it goes. The breeders, they want to keep the females as much as they can. And I don't know why they don't sell those females, but I kind of figured it's because they want to keep those good ones for breeding.
Where are you from?
Where I'm from Dallas. Originally from South Korea.
The next comment from Alfred Kabila. I messed up. I got 7 guppies, 3 snails, and 5 shrimps in a small tank, not cycled. It has a lot of plants, but got no filter or oxygen pump. I ordered a mini filter, but I still have like a week or 2 before I receive it. I hope my fish will survive. Fingers crossed.
Let me know how it went, man. I'm real curious because you can have a tank without a filter if you got a ton of plants. The first thing that will probably go maybe are the shrimp, but keep us updated. I mean, let us know what's going on. Good luck to you. And don't worry about messing up though, because everybody messes up, and this hobby. If you're in the hobby long enough, unfortunately, we're gonna accidentally not willingly kill some fish. So. Don't take it too hard on yourself. This
is from Adam Sabs regarding the cloudy water in a new fish tank. Hey bud, what if you have no fish in it yet? Brand new startup 2 days ago, just added the good bottle bacteria and the water conditioner was clear, now cloudy. I assume it's normal, but no fish in here yet.
Yeah, so you added the bacteria is blooming. I would add some fish, just a few, not too heavily stocked, but maybe test the water first and continue testing a week or two after and see what's going on. But if you test first and ammonia's high or nitrates are high, then don't add fish until those levels come down. Thanks for the question. All right. Well, all right. That was very fun. I think leave me a comment below if you like these kind of videos, and special guest Lori, thank you for reading the questions.
Sure.
Really appreciate it. And give me a like, comment, subscribe, share this video with people who love fish. And as always, happy fish keeping. Peace. Oh, and also make sure you get our awesome newsletter. Go to tropicalfishguide.com/sign up and you get the tips and tricks, fascinating fish facts, all good articles about how to keep fish, all good stuff, not trying to sell you a bunch of stuff, and very informative. So hit me up on Instagram at @thetropicalfishguide and check out my merch at fishytees.net. I'll leave a link up here and in the description. Thanks a lot so much for you guys' questions and comments. Really appreciate it. Y'all have a great one.